we're working with voice, and we're working with branding. Um, Sometimes this goes well, other times it's very funny. So whichever way it goes today, we'll roll with it. But this is freestyle, unscripted. So you're witnessing creation in motion. And we're working with groundnuts, we're working with branding, and we're working with voice. The day Dada died, we placed a beautiful arrangement of roses on the casket, lowered it into the ground, and sang hymns as we reminisced of the life he had lived. I held at the fore of my mind a picture of his calloused hands, hands that have spent the most of his life sowing seeds, calling out to people in voices they would most recognize. And whenever the men in long johns and blue coats rode by the house, they would call out to him in a voice most familiar. You would hear the paw pay, because Dada was a sweet tooth. Of what use is a life if not lived in service of people? Of what use are these hands if not used to sow seeds that will grow trees that we will not be privileged to live under? The Greeks hold a saying that a life is well lived when we are living it to plant trees that we will not be privileged to sit under its shade. And so, what is that legacy? That becomes your brand. We sit in classes that talk of branding and label it to colors and the logos. We would be so happy to put fonts under and personify it to us, but your brand is the story we hold at the fore of our minds when we stand at the end of this 6 feet square and we remember. The day Dada died, I did not hear his voice again. I would only remember the road trips we took, buying groundnuts by the roadside, reminiscing stories his mama told him when he was only but a young thing. He was no farmer, but Dada loved things that grew from the earth. He would buy anything that lived in the woods and he would buy anything that lived on the surface of the earth. Dada would buy sugarcane. He would buy groundnuts. He would stand by the plantain seller on the roadside and trade stories of when he, from hunting episodes, would come home a hero. His brand was one of courage. His brand was one that lived for the people. Dada's branding didn't need colors. It was his character that walked amongst men. And today, my story is one of a man who lived many years ago and now is no more. And so, if the world were ending today and you had but one thing to do, what will that thing be? When this question was asked of Martin Luther King, he said he would plant an apple tree, a tree he may not be privileged to harvest of its fruits, but he will plant. And so the call is that we become growers in our own rights. Our brand is not restricted to these blue coats and white collared jobs. Our brands is of what use our life becomes to the next person and how does these stories tabernacle over the people who would stop to grab a shade under our trees. The day I die, I would want a beautiful arrangement of sunflowers over my casket. And as you lower it into the ground, I would want songs sang of the brand I built. I would want voices happing the stories I strengthen them live. I would want every song you hear to remind you that you are both shoreline and you are ocean. You hold it in you to contain you. You are all it takes to stop you. You are your only stopper, and if you choose to overflow your banks, you are limitless. I want the voice you remember to be that you are both shoreline and you are river. You hold it in you to contain you. You are all it takes to stop you. And if you will not stop in your tracks but continue building, I hope that you will be able to say of the brand you will build at the end of the road. And when we sit to chew groundnuts, reminiscing of the life you lived, I hope it is one that you are proud to have us recount. The day I die, sing no songs of mourning. Do not come to this funeral in black. Wear yellow because my life is light. Wear yellow because my life is joy. Wear yellow because my life is a brand that tells of the light I want the world to be known for. I hope this counts when you remember when you're chewing on your nuts. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, come on, please stay. Stay. Emma, stay. Emma, come back. Come back. Come back. Ladies and gentlemen, please. Please, let's put our hands together. Let's celebrate Emma. I think all of you want to know what I also want to know. This is a true story, right?
Part of it.
Let's put our hands together for her again. Thank you so much, Emma. It was wonderful. No, I'm not going to try. Let me go here. She said, "The day I die," and she described it. Well, I say, now that we have life, what do we do next? The last time I heard from him, he was speaking about a subject matter of next is now. He said, the days of saying in the future I would be is past. The days of living somebody's dream is gone. Next is now. Yeah, Rev is next. The day of staying at home and envying, and the day of staying at home and doing nothing is dead. The day of believing that you need so much to start very little is dead. But now all you need to start something little is nothing. The last time I heard from him, he was speaking about next is now. He is the technical director of the Springboard Road Show Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, the man who makes everything operationally possible. Please, let's put our hands together for Albert Okran, Reverend. We call him Pastor Al. Let's put our hands together and celebrate him as he joins us on stage.
Kindly be seated. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. John 11:35, and Jesus wept. Several times today, tears have filled my eyes. I'm not Jesus, but it's okay to cry. It's okay to think of how far we've come and to be humbled and grateful. Nime, Name, distinguished guests, program partners, friends, It's just beautiful to convene like this. And every single speech that has been shared is almost like an interwoven story, bringing us a kaleidoscope of ideas and thoughts that will take us into the next 10 years, 20 years. 500,000 young people. The question is, what next? This grand finale is not the finish line. It's actually the beginning. This is where it all begins. As these seeds that have been planted begin to grow in our communities, businesses, a movement, ideas, ventures, this is just the beginning. So Ghana Grows was called Ghana Grows for a reason. I'm not going to tell you the original name we thought about, a very boring name. I won't attempt. Today we've heard a number of very exciting stories, very inspiring, very heartwarming. But great as these individual stories are, amazing as the impact on our young lives is, the next frontier is to create one interwoven story, one big Ghana story. Not just a Mary here, a Bernice here, a Sylvester Sly here, or any of the names we celebrated today, but a critical mass of bold, exciting, adventurous young achievers daring to dream and creating solutions in these sectors with innovation and actually having fun in the process. Wouldn't it be nice to create a nationwide link, connection of young people who know each other and who are doing these big things together? That is the next frontier, and that is our next charge. So what are we trying to do? Let me borrow from Emma a bit. Our next level is amalgamating, blending, connecting, daring, energizing, fusing, growing, harmonizing, infusing, gelling, knitting, leveraging, motivating, networking, let's say it together, optimizing, powering, questioning, renewing, socializing, tuning, understanding. It is vivaciously and willingly finding the X factor in you and creating a yearning or a desire to zealously transform Ghana through agriculture, agribusiness, technical, and vocational skills. That is my poem. If you like it, vote 111 to send me to African Idols. But that's the whole idea, bringing achievers together to dare to do something beyond where they are. I have only two ideas, just two simple suggestions on how we can create this nationwide network of young achievers. I'm a storyteller, so permit me to tell you two ideas that I hope you will not forget. Number one, always give extra value. Let's say it together. Turn to the next person and tell them with a very serious face. Tell them, always give extra value. Tell the person, especially you. No, one day I got a call from one of my closest associates. a top employer who is right here in front today. He asked me if I knew someone at a particular university. I assumed that he was looking for admission for his ward. He then informed me that he was looking for a graduate of that university to employ. I said, hold on. Here we are talking about youth unemployment, and you are calling me to help you access a young person randomly from a particular university to give them employment for free. My conclusion was that his fellow employers and himself had had such great experiences with graduates from that university that he had concluded that everyone from there is good. Everyone from there could be trusted with a job. Imagine the advantage that gives all the students in that university if the testimony continues. That is the kind of positive image I'm talking about. If everyone who deals with the Springboard alumnus has a great experience, it will become a badge of honor that you wear with pride that opens doors to you for the rest of your life. Over the years, many employers have told us about young people that came for interviews, and while they are being interviewed, riches. You say, how does it work? Because cash, there's cash. If you get some Absa Spark money in your pocket, how can you tell me a good name is better than riches? The answer is very simple. My dear Springboard alumnus, my dear Ghana Grows participant, wherever you find yourself in the world, always give extra value. In work and in business, do your best to deliver more than what is expected of you. Go the extra mile to exceed standards and add benefits that will make a positive impact on your clients, your boss, your colleagues, and your organization. My friends, when we started the roadshow, we made a vow that no partner or sponsor will invest in us and regret it. We made a solemn pledge. And if there's any partner or sponsor here, you will hear this in all our conversations with you that we are determined to keep our commitments. Do you know that is why we have sponsors that have stayed with us for over 16 years and counting? As a person, even more than your job. Because once your attitude is right, your skills are right, and your philosophy is right, your work will be good automatically. And always remember, who you become is far more important than what you get. So there will be times when the pay will not be good. There will be times when you think you deserve more. But the beautiful thing, who you have become by the work, is far greater than what was put in your hands. Number 2, exceed service expectations. Deliver good quality work always ahead of time and always the best quality. Don't be that unsympathetic fashion designer that delivers over. Now that before something happens, you can anticipate it and have a solution. There's nothing nicer than you are with your boss, a client, an issue comes up, and you pull the solution out and they say, how did you know? You said, oh, I carried one just in case. it ensures you are always on that flight. You have to be there because you know what to look out for. Always anticipate client needs. Number 4, Dr. Mosodwe mentioned it. Solve problems and volunteer. Volunteer to help with things even outside your scope, but be present to help. Interestingly, yesterday I was at Kempinski for an international conference, and I was looking at the number of speakers and sponsors that paid their own fare to come and support the organizer of the conference. And guess the reason? She says she's always volunteering to help others for free. So her first conference, speakers came from the US, paid their own flight and their own hotel to come and sponsor her. I couldn't agree with you more, Dr. Mosodwe, about the idea of what is in this for me. My religious studies master, Reverend Cheche, may his name be engraved in gold. He says, right up front in life, make a choice between soso chin chin and chin chin soso. Simple. In its very simple definition, chin chin soso is sacrifice and endure now to enjoy tomorrow. Soso chin chin is get your reward now, and then later in life, you hustle your way through. I pray you choose chin chin soso. Did I pronounce it right? Somebody say chin chin soso. Yeah, you got it. You got it. The last one is add a personal touch. So let me stay with fashion. You've sold a wedding dress. You've delivered it. Take a pen and a paper and write a note and put it on the dress. I'm praying for you that on Saturday, the weather will be nice. Everything will go well. And the wedding will be beautiful. May God be with you. How many seconds? Less than 1 minute. But that person will tell their